haven't done a video in a long time, so I thought, why not do one? Journey to success, whatever number it is, I have no idea. So I'm currently in my office. It's almost 8 p.m. Uh, I write a lot now, so I was just writing a couple of things, brainstorming. Um, I really like psychology. Just my approach on life is just building my understanding about different things that can help me have a more fulfilling life, help others have a better life as well. Something new, we're this. Doesn't actually look too bad on the camera. Well, at least that's what I think. My sisters and my mom want me to shave, but I'm like, I'll give it like another month or so. And then in a month it'll be November, which is no shave November. So, whatever. I don't even know what I'm gonna be talking about other than let's see. Maybe I'll untangle respect a little bit. This is more to do with life, less to do with business. I'll give you an update about business later on. But I was at a concert yesterday with my sisters called, it's the rapper slash artist NF. And it was really good. But after that, I was talking to my sister, and Brielle, she's amazing. She's actually organizing a conference, Christian conference at UBC. The whole idea is to get all of the different Christian clubs into a conference, and then they'll have speakers from across the country and from the States, talking about different topics, like apologetics and so on, and really have an event that solidifies people in their faith in God and Christianity. But that being aside, she's arranged a team of about 15 people, all volunteers. They have a Slack channel, and she was feeling a little unease yesterday because the way she was explaining it was, she takes like a lot of time to prepare. She basically woke up really early this one morning, prepared this message, and then wanted to make sure that everyone was on top of their game so that there was no holdups. And she said, okay, we need all of this figured out. We need the timeline. Not that you have to be completely strict with the timeline, but it gives you kind of a rough estimate of how you're going to approach, how you're going to solve the problems before the event. And then she talked about like not being a bottleneck and like basically eliminating them bottlenecks so that the event can run smoothly. So she wrote this huge message and posted it on Slack. And then one of the girls, who was also in business, Brielle Stignesauter, commented and said, "Did you really just say bottleneck?" And that's exactly how Brielle read it. Like, oh, did you really just say bottleneck? So like a sassy, not very supportive kind of comment. Anybody else could read it some different way. Like, oh, do you mean like a lot more friendly? Or hey, do you mean, can't believe you just said bottleneck? Because we like learned about it in class and everything, and you're bringing your business stuff in. But she felt like that comment was disrespectful. And so, I probably should have prepared a little bit better for this video. On top of my head, what is respect and what isn't. I think what's kind of blurry, not that that's a great place to start, is when people look at, especially like my parents when I was younger, often viewed respect as, deference, basically being like meek and obedient. But I think the problem was that she felt like she was being undermined and it wasn't respectful, and that they were basically saying that to spite her. And then it kind of got me thinking about, it's a pretty drastic response to have to that. With You can't really tell in those kind of messaging platforms, because 80-90% of communication is through body language, tonality, and there's so much room for it to be misinterpreted. So how I usually operate, or how I try to operate, is beyond all reasonable doubt, which means, like, if it's beyond all reasonable doubt that what they were saying had the intention to spite me and was actually taking away my authority or my power, then that's when you should respond. I mean, if you're having those emotions, that's another thing. Emotions are extremely important for you to listen to, and the emotions themselves aren't bad. Like, emotion is like pain. If you put your hand on a stove, the fact that you're feeling pain in your arm isn't the bad thing. The thing that's bad is that you put your hand on a burning stove. You're actually injuring your hand. So emotions can be rewired or wired incorrectly, but it is showing you something is off, whether that's your own view on what respect is and what you think should have happened, whether it was actually the case where she violated your what's it called, property rights. If she violated your property right, one of your rights is your reputation. If they're slandering it, if they're raking it through the mud and basically calling you a sloppy, useless, whatever, and there's no reason for them to be doing that. They're kind of just making stuff up and lying about it. Well, that's a property violation. But if someone, I think what's blurry is that I'm almost positive that other girl was saying it as a joke. And so if it's a joke, is it crossing your property right? Do you have a right to feel that way? Is that really slandering your reputation? And I think, in my opinion, because I even said to her at that, when we were talking, like, if it was me and I was talking to someone, or I was talking in a group and someone said that to me, it wouldn't have affected me at all. Like, it's a bottleneck. Yeah, I did say bottleneck. That's what I'm talking about. So we need to get rid of them. Or you can be witty in your own way. Depending on, you might not want to, it might not be the best way, but you could be sassy back and say, like, yeah, I was talking about a bottleneck. You should have learned that in class. Or don't you remember from class, or something like that. Anyways, whatever. That's kind of the things that are going on in my thoughts. In business is doing pretty good. Obviously with a business partner and other employees, there's, we have this inertia going, and it's harder to change the direction of a company when it's going. But I have a stable base, and certainly a lot of my time and effort is put into building my business, into earning more income. But a lot of my effort is going into my relationships as well. Relationships with my mom, my dad, my friends, my sisters, in no particular order. Learning, building more understanding. This is what my office looks like, by the way. Just have a whole bunch of papers here. That headset has been so helpful because I take notes when I write, and when you have a phone up to your ear, you can't really write that well with the other hand. So this is kind of what it looks like here. sure you guys have seen it before. And I love how I'm acting as if someone's going to be watching this video. This is totally a video just for me. I don't really care if anybody watches this, except for maybe myself in like 10, 20 years. But if I am watching 10, 20 years, it's November, no, it's not November, it's October 4th, 2019. The time is now 8:02. Took me a while to read my own watch. And my salary is about $3,500 a month. I have a lot of business expenses and stuff and write-offs. So say 45K a year as my salary. Business is doing about 500 grand. It's like 10% revenue growth, but what increased more drastically was a profit. So, and that's the number I care about. And it's also dropped because we've given each other, we've given raises and stuff and other expenses and yada yada. But that's kind of where I'm at with my business. Really wanting to double down on sales, focusing on that, niching out to maybe plumbers or HVAC companies and offering digital marketing services there. But yeah, I can't complain. There's nothing really. Joined a community group, going to young adults, learning more about real estate investing. I meet up with, right now currently, I'm meeting up with Gerbier every single week, basically at 7 a.m. on Saturdays, and we're learning about money, finances, really recently getting into the real estate investing. I don't have enough capital for that, but it doesn't hurt to be working through that. And actually I I'm hooking up Gerbier and Blaine. Blaine's a really good real estate or realtor, and he has his own investment properties and everything. So you always want to learn from someone who's actually getting their feet dirty. So he is a perfect person to learn this stuff from and get our feet wet, or muddy, whatever. So I don't know what else to talk about. So I guess I'll end the video, and yeah, I will try and record more often. See ya.